In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to report in-kind non-monetary contributions in the new EFS web application. The new web-based system does not utilize schedules as previous iterations of EFS have used. However, the categories in which different data will be entered closely mirror the schedules that were used in the past. In this video, we will be working in the File a Disclosure Report page from the main navigation at the top of the screen after creating our report. For instructions on how to create the report, please view the video entitled Filer Dashboard in EFS. Please note that the transaction type drop-down menu located towards the top of the page will only populate with items that are applicable for your committee type. To start, select the fourth category for data entry in the transaction type drop-down menu entitled In-Kind Non-Monetary Contributions Received. Do not confuse this with in-kind contributions given to another candidate or committee, which are not reported here. Once the transaction type is chosen and the user selects Apply, you will see new drop-down menu options for sorting and columns to view. The choices default to created date and descending for sorting. As for column view, 6 are required, but others can be selected based on personal preference. Once you choose which you prefer to see, select Set Preferences. Before we begin entering in data, let's discuss what an in-kind contribution is. An in-kind contribution is when something of value, but not money, is given to your candidate or committee. It could be in the form of services or facilities provided, goods or property given, or campaign expenses incurred that were paid by someone else. In-kind contributions received are subject to contribution limits, must be assessed at the fair market retail value, and do not affect the committee's balance. Please note that in-kind contributions may come from all sorts of contributor types, but expenditures made by party or constituted committees on behalf of their candidates are not in-kind contributions and do not have to be reported as such by the recipient candidates and committees. Select the Add New Transaction button to begin entering a transaction. A new dialog box opens. For our example, we are entering an in-kind contribution from a fictional corporation, Carter's Inc. The corporation provided the catering services for our committee's fundraising event. The first question is transaction itemized? Use the drop-down menu to select your response. For this entry, we are showing an itemized transaction, so we select yes. Next, enter the date the contribution was received or select it from the calendar provided. You will then select the contributor type from the drop-down menu. There are 10 options to choose from. For our example, we select corporation. Next, enter the name and address of the contributor in the fields provided. If this is a contributor you have entered into the EFS web application before, the fields will populate upon selection from the drop-down menu. Next, select the type of in-kind contribution from the drop-down menu entitled Contribution Type. Again, the 3 options are services or facilities provided, property given, and campaign expenses paid. For our example, services or facilities provided would be applicable, so we select that option. You will then enter the amount of the in-kind contribution. This must be the fair market retail value of the goods or services. Please note that the explanation field is required here to provide a brief description of the in-kind contribution. Enter in the appropriate description. The asterisks indicate what fields are required for saving the transaction. Please be aware that they are not a complete picture of compliance requirements. Select the Save button and a new dialog box opens with the statement, Transaction saved successfully. Select OK to close. Transactions will populate in the table on the page as they are entered after the Add Edit Transaction dialog box is closed. Again, keep in mind that in-kind contributions do not affect the committee's monetary balance, but do count against contribution limits. Repeat the processes outlined in this video for all in-kind contributions your committee has received. As always, staff at the New York State Board of Elections is always happy and ready to assist you. Our Campaign Finance Call Center may be reached at 518-474-8200. For technical assistance, our IT Help Desk may be reached at 518-473-4803.